Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from LastStandGamers, and welcome. So today we're doing an after battle report of episode 34 of Colony Wars. Now, this was a spectacular battle, and if you missed it, I provided you here with a link so you can go and check it out right now. I'm going to be covering what both teams brought to the battle in terms of firepower, kind of reviewing that, and at the same time covering the strategies of both teams, and looking for both weaknesses in the strategies as well as things that could probably be done better throughout the attack. Now, there is another half of this battle going up on Sunday, so make sure you check that out as well. The place to start, though, is what Jack's team brought to the table. They brought 5 gunboats. Now, these gunboats are extremely easy to take out the sky. One thruster hit and they fall like a rock. What the drone team really did fear, though, was the Dawnbreaker. Of course, this ship, though, is heavily specified. It is a heavy ship. It is designed as a dreadnought. It's designed to take fire and deal it out at the same time. But he's only got one of them. They also brought a smaller frigate, but the drone team kind of noticed that this had some sort of issues with its propulsion, just like the gunboats themselves. Now, what did the drone team bring to the table? Well, first off, we had the Grim Reaper. That was the laser variant of the Spitfire. Well, on top of that, we had the Harambe that was in a very untested mode. I'm going to honestly say, from piloting it, it had a lot of issues. Then we had 3 other Spitfires, and the Spitfires are just a complete multi-role ship. They do a bit of everything, and because of this, they probably outgunned, let's say, the gunboats. It'd take 5 gunboats to probably take out one of Pavel's ships, possibly even more than that. It was a Tiger versus Sherman situation. Even though that the gunboats were easy to produce, they weren't particularly good at taking out targets. Now, moving on to the strategies of both teams. Jack's strategy was very simple. He was going to camp out above the defense grid. The defense grid was going to boost basically his performance in this battle by about 50% and give him the necessary advantage for him to win. Of course, the drone team knew this, and we wanted to try baiting ships out away from the defense grid or get them just out of range of it so we could actually pelt them with firepower. But the drone team had some issues with the command. There was a number of drone members that were far too gung-ho. They just wanted to get stuck straight into the action, and we lost ships because of it. We took a lot of damage because of this situation. But the first issue that happened within the attack was the bees. The bees were sent in just unnecessarily. We should have waited when the attack actually commenced and then sent them in from that other angle to split the sort of defense grid's firepower between the ships and the bees. But they got wiped out nevertheless. So the next part of the attack was the flanking maneuver. Of course, there was a standoff at the beginning, and this standoff in reality lasted about 45 minutes. I didn't want to attack him, he didn't want to leave the base, so there was a big issue with that. I thought the only way of doing this would come around the back of the defense grid where there is less turrets to possibly focus on us and creep towards it in formation. But of course, some people lost the patience, flung themselves into the battle, and we lost a ship because of it. Now, the first casualty of the battle, of course, were the gunboats. These gunboats were just falling out of the sky, left, right, and center. There was nothing that we could do about them. They weren't really a threat to us. Then we lost the first one of our ships. Of course, Drunken flew over in one of his mighty passes, actually doing quite a lot of damage to both the defense grid as well as the Dawnbreaker's varying turrets. And at the same time, this ship was focused by Pavel from the other direction that took out the smaller frigate craft. So Jack's team were already down to, well, just the Dawnbreaker and partial part of the defense grid, where we had everything up, even though some of our ships were damaged. Then, of course, Aaron makes a critical error with the thrusters as he tried to spectate and get you guys the best perspective possible, and tilts the Harambe, taking out most of his rear thrusters. So the decision is made to launch the Harambe as a bomb into the base. He, of course, is filled with explosives in the rear end, so he could go straight in there and possibly wound the Dawnbreaker. But sadly, the Harambe gets deleted by trash cleanup. At the time, I didn't know. I was completely confused. I was just like, has the Harambe just been torn to pieces? But things happen like that. It's just part of the game. It's an issue with everything, you know. So after Harambe was taken out, we soon lost the Scotsman. But the Scotsman did one final pass, damaging a lot of the grid and then crashing into the lake. At this time, we had all the ships remaining apart from the Harambe and the Grim Reaper. So that is 3 in total. I made the decision to retreat. The reason I did this because one of the ships had almost no ammunition left, and there was clearly an issue with the command structure. We were not coordinating well enough, and to pull back at this time probably stopped us from meeting certain death by the variety of cannons aboard the Dawnbreaker. There was no point of attacking while we were weak. Now Jack himself started doing some repairs as we flew away, and he thought that this was a victory for him. The truth is we pulled back to do something a hell of a lot worse. But you'll have to find out that on Sunday. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'd really like to hear what you thought of the attack. What could have done better? What strategies both teams could have tried to kind of outplay the other one? It's like a game of chess. Both teams are going to make a lot of moves. Some are going to be correct, some are going to get pieces taken, but the battle happened. We lost some ships, so did they. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.